Hello, and a very warm welcome to today's meditation session. Maybe it's the morning, maybe it's the lunchtime, maybe it's the evening. It's day 39 of our 21-day journey together. My name's Nicholas. I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for 10 years now. I'm currently residing in Hoi An, Vietnam, and I am a professional watercolor artist. So firstly, a friendly reminder to have your foot soak ready. Also, if you'd like to get a candle and a candle holder ready as well, we will have and introduce a treatment called a candle treatment. So please have those before we start. So session 2 is for beginners and continuing participants. So we will review and go deeper into the same topics, along with introducing some new topics and new techniques. If you are new or you are continuing, you can request to go into a breakout room at the end of the program. We will also have course materials and recordings, so you can go to our website, or you can go to an in-person local program, the information of which is also on the website. So we have an important announcement. After 21 days, we will take a 4-week break and start a follow-up 21 days. So the program will be twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. In these sessions, feel free to request a mentor. You can fill out the form in the Zoom chat. You can send an email. And if you've already requested one, give us a little bit of time to find the right mentor for you. We like to match well, language and so forth. So allow us a little bit of time for that. On Wednesday, we had power of speech to give love to others. And today's topic is about asking for forgiveness. The agenda is that we'll have 2 presenters with guided meditation. We'll have a video of Shri Mataji on this particular subject. We'll have music and then a question and answer session with the presenters sharing at the end. Sahaja Yoga is always free. You can't pay for this inner awakening within you. And so money should not be involved, and therefore all Sahaja Yoga sessions, whether online or in person, are always free. So I would like to welcome now our two presenters, Elke and Hans, to come and join us.
Hello.
Hello to you both. Um, so if I could start with Elke, could you tell us something about yourself and what do you do in addition to teaching Sahaja Yoga meditation?
Yeah, well, hello. I'm living in Austria, just outside of Vienna, uh, in a little farm with sheep and a dog and chickens. And I'm originally a kindergarten teacher, and now I teach music to little children. I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga since almost 35 years, I think.
Lovely. Wow. Yeah. And Hans, the same to you. Tell us something about yourself and what do you do in addition to teaching Sahaja Yoga meditation?
Mhm. Well, I can copy some of Elke's input, right? Because I also come from Austria and I have seen her sheep. It's a very, very beautiful place. I've also been around 35 years practicing Sahaja Yoga. Having said that, every day is new and fresh, right? There's no routine about it. And outside of Sahaja Yoga, I work as a project manager in a steel company in Austria.
Lovely. So there you go. There are two presenters. And without further ado, I would like to hand over to Elke for
Um,
our first
I have
meditation.
to apologize for a moment. I'm running low on battery and I forgot to prepare my cord. Just give me a second. Sorry about that.
No problem at all. Yeah, you go for it. Um, yeah, go for it, and we will improvise here. So, just a reminder that we're going to have a new treatment today. So this will be candle treatment, and if you want to know what that looks like, it actually looks like this. So, well, it can look like this. You can have a candle and something to hold it in. As I like to have something which is quite, you know, large so that you aren't getting candle wax on yourself. So just recommend that you have this because we use the elements in Sahaja Yoga. You might be well aware of our foot soak protocol, which is using the earth element, some salt, and the water to clear away energy on our left side. And we have other elements to help us clearing the right side and other areas, other chakras. So um, we're going to be using the element of fire in this session, which will be yeah, maybe new for some of you. So great to check it out. I personally find that I really feel it strongly when I'm using fire to clear out.
Thank you, Nicholas. So this is what happens in Sahaja Yoga all the time that we have to improvise, right? It's not
Yes.
spontaneous. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I'm all set up now. My computer is ready. I'm ready. Everything good. So the today's topic is the Back Agnya, which is on the back side of our head, which is the sixth center on the back. You can see that on the picture here very nicely. The corresponding finger is the ring finger. Particularly for the Back Agnya, that would be the left side hand ring finger. You can see the number 6 on that finger. So the qualities of this center is there are lots of good qualities on this chakra which we can develop when we just make sure that we balance ourselves. So this chakra catches when we are too much in the past. What happens usually in our life is that we are either in the past or in the future, but where we want to go is the presence and beyond ego and superego in the center. We want to be not reacting. We want to achieve mental silence, humility, and compassion. Thank you for the slide. We are now starting our meditation by the way we do it all the time. We raise our Kundalini with the left hand and circle around it with the right hand and make a knot on top. And we do that 3 times. Raise the Kundalini a second time with our full attention. Slowly give it 2 knots. And a third time. 1, 2, 3. Try to keep your attention on top of the head while we do the bandhan, which is the horseshoe movement around our head. We start from the left side hip with the right hand over the head and down on the right and back. Just try to keep your attention on the top of your head, on the Sahasrara. We do it a second time with your full attention. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and back. You can thank the motherly quality within us for supporting us and giving us the ability to meditate. So if you have all prepared your water bucket, you can now give vibrations to the water by holding your hand over it and asking the water element to please absorb our negativity. And now we can put our feet into the water. Make sure you have salt in it if you haven't put it in yet. And to come into a more meditative state, we can start by calming our breathing. Breathe slowly and enjoy every breath you take. Now we can put our right hand on the left side of the heart. This is the center where the spirit resides. The spirit is the seed in us that we've always been and always will be, never changing. And what it actually is, it is pure love. It is the pure love that connects us all. So let's put our full attention in this center. Be kind to yourself, because you're the spirit, nothing but the pure spirit. We are not those deeds, we are not our past, we are not our emotions, not our thoughts. We are the pure spirit. We can say that with full confidence. I am the pure spirit. Nothing but pure love. So with this confidence, we can now raise our Kundalini again with the right hand to help our attention come to the center. We do that 3 times. Put the hand on top of the head. Turn it a bit with pressure. Put soft, gentle pressure on your head and turn clockwise, moving the scalp a little bit, like giving a gentle massage clockwise. And now you can lift the hand slowly and see if you can feel the coolness. Or you might feel warm, or whatever sensation you feel. Maybe you can feel the energy that is coming out of your head. You can also try with your left hand. And now put both your hands on your lap. Calm your mind. Make sure all the thoughts can flow down into the water. All the thoughts. Maybe you have troubles. Maybe you have had a hard day. Maybe you have to plan the coming week. Let everything go. Let everything go into the water. Try also to relax your muscles. Maybe try to sit more comfortable, upright, but relaxed. Now we can put our right hand towards the ground and the left hand facing up on our lap. This is to balance the left side. So we put our attention on the left side and let all the tensions go off on the right hand towards the ground. Mother Earth and the water element can absorb all our tensions. So we surrender to this absorption, to the gravity of our Mother Earth. And we can put our attention on the left hand and see what we feel in our left hand. And now we can put the right hand on the lap, facing up, and the left hand goes towards the sky. The ether element can absorb all the heat from the right side. Let's put our attention on the right side and let all the tension go up into the ether. Now let's put both hands on the lap. See what we feel in our hands now. Just watch. Just be the witness. And this motherly quality in us, this motherly energy in us, the Kundalini, she can absorb all the tensions and pass it on to the water. We can ask, Mother, please make me pure. Mother, please clean all my chakras, all my centers. Now, an important center to clean is also the Vishuddhi, which is on the neck. We can put our right hand on the base of our neck. If we put our hand on it, that means that we support the clearing of this center. This is the center which corresponds with the index finger. You can also watch your index finger and see if the vibrations flow. And what is also very useful for our meditation is if we put the left hand on the base of our ribs, underneath the lowest rib, which is the position of the liver. Now the liver catches when we are overactive. So after an active day, it's good to cool down the liver, which you might sometimes want to do with ice also. And we've had a lecture on that also. But also putting the left hand on the right side, on the position of the liver, also helps cooling down. Let's go with our attention on this spot, underneath the lowest rib on the right side. Put a little pressure on it with the left hand, not too much, but a little. And this center corresponds with the middle finger and also with the thumb on the right hand side. See if the vibrations get cooler on your right hand. Now we put both hands on the lap again. Put our attention on the Sahasrara on top of our head again. Put a little pressure to help our attention. Lift it up again. Follow our attention to where the hand is going. And sometimes you feel it further up or maybe further down. You can see further front, further back, where you can feel the cool breeze. With your left hand, so at this point we can use our rinsing water. Rinse your feet. You put the bucket aside and we will empty it later. So now to clear our Back Agnya, we can use the candle. The candle is always used on the left-hand side of your body. We can start by going up and down with the candle on the left side. So this is where all our emotions reside and our past. And we can balance our left side nicely with the candle. The heat is always good for the left side. And as you know, the left side crosses between the eyebrows to the right. So the left Agya is actually positioned on the right side of the head and on the back. So for the Back Agnya, this is where all our past is collected, all our conditionings, all the whatever we've learned in this lifetime, whatever we might have experienced before. And we can get rid of all the tensions of this center by using the candle in a movement, in a horseshoe movement. We give it a bandhan in a horseshoe movement, and trying not to burn your hair. That's very important. Be careful with the fire. So the light of the fire can clear all our past. And what helps this center is also to ask for forgiveness, because as we are humans, of course we make mistakes. But we can forgive ourselves and we can ask the divine for forgiveness. We can say, Mother, please forgive all our mistakes. We don't have to count the mistakes. We don't have to think what mistakes we've done. Just generally ask for forgiveness. Mother, please forgive. Now there's nothing to worry about anymore. So we start every day new. Every day we have the chance to start with zero, because the divine, in its love and patience with us, will forgive everything. So we can go down with our left, on our left side. And now we can put the candle aside and check our hands. Maybe we feel something in our hands now, some coolness, or maybe still some tingling, but don't worry about it. We can just let it go. Try to put your attention on the Sahasrara again. Let all your conditionings dissolve in the light of pure love. So while we are going to watch Shri Mataji's speech, we can keep our attention in the center and in the Sahasrara. Try to focus on the center again. You can raise your Kundalini again with your right hand. Put it on top of your head. Keep your attention here. Keep your hands open. And now we're going to listen to Shri Mataji's words.
So you reach that subtler state when you understand what is fundamentally, basically wrong with you, because these are the fundamentals on which our physical, mental, emotional and spiritual being rests or is nourished. So immediately you know basically what's wrong with you, and you know yourself, nobody has to tell. Now supposing somebody is very much conditioned, so his chakra at the backside goes off. Now if you tell that person you are a conditioned person, he'll not like it. But he himself after realization will say, Mother, please solve my problem of the Back Agnya. Means there's some conditioning. Could be coming from anything. and you face yourself directly. You don't have to sort of sit down and analyze yourself, but you just see it clearly on your centers what's wrong with you. And if you can relate one center, another center, the combinations of these centers, and actually what is the matter with you, immediately you will know what's the problem is. So you know the absolute truth. Now you have known from India many people have come as false gurus, and everybody tells me about them. They are just here to make money. There's a kind of camouflage they have. But still, with realization, we immediately know that he is a cheat. Or he is a demonic person. You have to just put your hands like this and you can feel it. The vibrations, which are not pulsations of a tremor or anything, but cool, breeze-like things that flow, suddenly becomes hot. Sometimes they might create a little blister also, for the time being, because you become like a barometer. And absolute things, Even if you have a painting which is a copy of a real painting and people don't know, only by putting hands towards it, immediately you'll know if it is of the real one or not. Any fundamental question can be asked and you get the answer on your fingertips and you know what is the truth. So that your attention itself becomes enlightened. With this attention, which is enlightened, you can feel the vibrations of another person, the chakras of another person. But apart from that, second thing, that this enlightened attention is dynamic. Sitting down here, if you put attention to something, it works. It works. Of course, you have to develop that state, that higher state of doubtless awareness. Anywhere you put your attention, it works. So the connection with the divine is that this attention, wherever you put it, like a remote control, it works. A person who is a realized soul is extremely compassionate and extremely dynamic. Of course, you never feel your age, you never get tired, you work very hard, because all the time the energy is flowing. You become an expert on understanding what is falsehood and what is truth. The discrimination, the divine discrimination is so acute and so penetrating that you cannot find faults with it. I know of a person who came to me after realization. I told him that why don't you take to the interior decoration of ships. He said, I don't know, from one timber to another timber. I said, just start. And he became very rich with that. He somehow or other, he said, I knew this was this timber, I knew this one was that timber. So you just know after a certain state that you reach, that this is this, this is this. Because your attention is so pure and clear, you become extremely creative. Many people who have never spoken on the stage, have never said a sentence on the stage, who had stage fear and all that, are great orators today. Any walk of life you enter into, you are absolutely confident of yourself and you know you are properly guided. And the nature of the spirit is that it gives you an attention that doesn't fritter away. You don't look at things which are of no use. But once you see something, the whole picture is in your mind, like a photogenic picture. Whenever you want to think about it, you get the whole thing. Even the folds of the clothes and everything, the face, everything comes to you absolutely clear. The memory becomes so sharp, even at an old age, that people are surprised. And you do not try to memorize too many things, it's just there. One lady in America got realization, she had a shop, Indian lady. She said, I meticulously knew every bit of my shop, and I knew what consignment has come, what has gone, everything. I don't know anything now, but I'm making big profits. I said, that's it. Why should you break your neck with all this burden? Just you should have the profit finished. And she was amazed how she's making so much money when she is not knowing all these things and she's living in complete joy. So another attribute of the spirit is that it is the source of joy. Joy is not like happiness and unhappiness. If your ego is pampered, then you feel happy. When it is not pampered, you feel unhappy. Joy is a state where you just enjoy everything. Because you are beyond thoughts.
So let's fall into a lovely silent meditation together. We can have our hands up with our palms facing upwards, have our hands on our laps, I should say. And let's just close our eyes and enter into a silent meditation.
I bow to all the seekers of truth.
Meditation is a state. It's not something we do. It's not an activity. So after now the clearing, the balancing, and the video, let's enter that state. Open your eyes and watch Shri Mataji's picture. And look at the bindi on her forehead. That's the red spot on her forehead. And watch without thinking. And now close your eyes, but keep the image of Shri Mataji's picture. And again, without thinking. Meditation starts when the thoughts stop. Let's bring our attention within and watch. Just see, without reacting. We can see, what do we feel in our hands, above our head? Is it cool, or is it warm, or is it tingling? We can see, where is our attention? Where is our mind wandering, or is it focused? And now let's see where the silence is, even if it's just a small gap between two thoughts. Put the attention on that silence and allow that silence to expand. Now we can meditate with our attention on some chakras to clear our Back Agnya. We can start by bringing the attention to the Muladhara chakra. That's the first chakra, the lowest one, essentially where we sit. And just bring your attention to that lowest first chakra, where we touch the ground or chair, and just see what you feel. And we can just desire that that chakra becomes stronger and manifest the qualities. This chakra has to do with childlike innocence, which is very much a foundation for other chakras, but especially for the Back Agnya. Now let's bring the attention to the sacrum bone. So just a little bit above the Muladhara chakra, at the base of the spine. This is where the Kundalini resides and from where she ascends. So we can follow up that ascent through the spine. But you can also just try and feel how the Kundalini moves upwards with its own care, with its own benevolence. And let's go up until we reach the Agya chakra, so the sixth center around the forehead. And now we'll put our attention first on the front Agya, on the forehead. Relax the forehead. There should be no tension and no grudge, no bad feeling of any kind. And to increase that relaxation of the forehead, we can say the affirmation inside, just I forgive, I forgive. And now let's bring the attention to the back Agya, to the back of the head. This time we use our hand. Let's put the hand on the back of the head. Keep the left hand with the palm upwards. And allow the vibrations to flow in through the left hand, and then through the right hand, they go into the back Agya and cleanse the back Agya. We already learned the affirmation. In case I have made any mistake, may I be forgiven. Mother, in case I have made any mistake against the divine, may I be forgiven. Let's keep the hand there for some time, but also keep the attention where you feel the hand touching the chakra. We keep the eyes closed, but we can also relax the eyes, relax the head. The back Agya has an impact also on the eyes. And if we are pure in mind, we also get pure eyes. So just see how we can relax the whole head, allow the vibrations to flow in and cleanse the chakra. Now let's lift the right hand to the top of the head, to the fontanelle. Stretch the fingers back, put the center of the palm on the fontanelle, and put some pressure. Now we rise above all the chakras, above the mind, and just put the attention on that point where the hand is touching the head. Now we can slowly do the 7 circles, roughly clockwise, and each time we can say, Mother, please establish my self-realization. 7 times. Mother, please establish my self-realization. Whenever you're ready in your own time, lift the right hand a little bit. Try to find the spot where you feel the Kundalini the strongest. However you feel it, it might be a breeze, it just might become some kind of force. And then hold the hand there for a while, and maybe that increases. Now keep the attention where the hand is, where you feel that energy, and now slowly take down the hand, but keep the attention up, a little above the head. And for a few moments, let's ignore everything else, any sound, any sensation, any feeling, and just keep the attention above the head. Check your attention if it is above the head, and bring it back. And now let's relax our attention. We keep it inside, but now we observe ourselves again. What do I feel in my hands? What do I feel above my head? What do I feel inside? My emotions, my thoughts. And let's watch all of that without thinking. And if there is a thought, we just watch it from a distance. And let's watch it from our Sahasrara. We take our seat at the top of the head and watch everything from above there. Now let's slowly open our eyes, watch Shri Mataji's picture again, and we'll do the same thing we did at the beginning. Look at Shri Mataji's bindi without thinking. And now we'll close the meditation by giving ourselves the bandhan. I think we know it quite well by now, but let's just do it kind of more or less together. And know that the Kundalini and the vibrations do follow the hand. It's not just symbolic. So we raise the Kundalini once, make the knot. The second time, 2 knots. And stay with the attention up in Sahasrara, the top of the head. Third time, 3 knots. And now the protection around the aura, 7 times. Again, keep the attention at the top of the head. And when you're finished, again, just hold out the hand, see what you feel. Hold them towards the picture of Shri Mataji and see what you feel in your hands. Allow the vibrations to flow in. And then we'll just do this little bow with the hands folded in gratitude that the Kundalini gives us this meditation. So that's the end of the meditation. Now I believe there are some announcements.
Thank you very much, Hans. Yes, so we will go into a question answer session shortly, but I would just like to say a few words before that. So, as you can see, we have a session 2 going deeper, day 40, the narrow gate, this Wednesday, talking about the balloons of the ego and superego and how our Agya plays a role in clearing it. We've got the 21-day course schedule here, so just if you'd like to have a look at this. So we had our session 2, which is what we're going through now. It started on April the 9th and it finishes on June the 18th. So it's been Sunday and Wednesdays for 12 weeks. After this, we're going to have a 4-week break from June the 19th till July the 22nd. And then we shall commence our session 3, which we've named Deepening the Silence. So that starts July the 23rd, which is a Wednesday, and it will finish on same Wednesday, August 13th. So that will be Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 weeks. All of them same time as usual, that is 8 p.m. Central Eastern Time, and the same Zoom link. So, a bit about our program resources. I've mentioned it before, but you can request a mentor. So you can just fill out the form in the Zoom chat, and we will do our best to match you up with someone who can help with your own spiritual growth and give you some guidance and tips. You can join our community in a WhatsApp group. We have daily spiritual messages and course reminders. So the link to join us is also in the Zoom chat. And we've got recorded sessions, live session links, handouts, and a lot more on our website. As you can see here, lots of information, and the handouts are useful sort of, snippets of information for you to take with you. So you can also scan the QR code there if you want to do that in a handy way. But let's welcome back Hans and Elke, and what we can do is go through this question and answer session. So if you'd like to get your comments in the chat, please feel free. We can start off with some opening questions in the meantime, and then I'll have a look at the chat as we move along. So maybe I can start with Elke. I just wanted to talk about habits or conditionings that you identified in yourself and have been able to clear or change through practicing Sahaja Yoga.
Yeah, there are probably several things, but one thing that comes to my mind first is I grew up in the Austrian culture, obviously, in a Catholic family, and for example, Christmas was always a big issue in our family, as it is for Christians, I guess. And the first time I was in India over Christmas, it was the first time Christmas away from my family. And this is when I realized that I don't really need those traditions anymore. And I got to the actual depth of the event rather than the plain outward traditions. And with the years, I found back to my roots, to my traditions, but without depending on them or without being slaves to the traditions. So I've learned to appreciate the traditions without being dependent on them.
Well, yeah,
So I'm
that's really
free.
interesting.
I can appreciate them more freely now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not about shying away from them or abandoning them. It's just having basically a more enlightened awareness
Yeah.
of what you are
And
doing.
also, yeah. And also with Sahaja Yoga, you get to know so many people from different cultures. And probably you can tell quite a bit about that being in Vietnam now.
Yes, yes. Yeah, every place has their customs, and it's nice to travel because then you get to see what you've been grown up doing, and maybe there are some things other people do that you can take on board with, or shed light on, other things that you're doing that may not have been so useful or interesting or whatever it may be. So yeah, Hans, the same question to you. Any habits or conditions that you've identified in yourself and Sahaja Yoga's help with?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we all have conditionings, right? It's a matter of it's what humans have, and we go through experiences. In a way, you can get rid of a lot of conditionings just through life. Because I remember I moved from England to Austria when I was 13, and that was quite a cultural change. And I gave up a lot of my sort of English ideas that I had, right? At first, I thought Austrians are a bit weird, but then I realized that they have some qualities we don't have. So that helps. And as Elke mentioned, Sahaja Yoga is such an internationally diverse thing. I've never been in a community that is so diverse where people get on easily with, the mechanic, the university professor, and you sit together on the same table and have a easy discussion. But then, of course, there's the subtler part where you do maybe, you have a meditation and you get up and you just realize, right, I don't feel as, I don't know, dragged down as I would normally in the morning, or I don't feel as tired before I go to work, because that's just like a habit I have to feel tired in the morning. You can actually get out of it quite easily if you meditate and go into balance. So I think the interesting thing about Sahaja Yoga is it works on a much subtler level, where we sometimes realize after a few weeks, oh, that's gone now. I'm not reacting against my boss anymore when he's a bit annoying, or against my partner, maybe. I think that's a good, in relationships, it really helps to decondition yourself to get rid of fixed ideas, because you're much more open to the views of the other person. You take them in a more relaxed way, because you don't have a fixed viewpoint anymore. And if you do have a fixed viewpoint, it's one that's very much from, because if you break down all the conditionings, not the conditionings are bad, there are some very good ones, the traditions that Elke mentioned, where you can enjoy them when you have a bit of a distance from them, and they're quite valuable. But if the viewpoint becomes more something inside and it's the spirit, which is absolute, then it's just more decoration. So I think that's when the deconditioning really becomes an enjoyable thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, let's go into thinking more about the Back Agnya, which is what we've cleared out today. So, Elke, if I return to you, um, is there any clearing techniques that you do to clear Back Agnya? I guess you've gone through one today. If you want to elaborate on it or share something else.
Yeah, of course. Well, I use the light element, the fire of the candle, but also I think what is very essential is the introspection, watching yourself without reacting. That's a hard one. But I think with meditating, you learn so much to witness yourself, find out, yeah, this is a conditioning, okay, and it might be a good conditioning, but to be aware of the conditioning, getting rid of conditionings that are in your way. Yeah, introspection, I think, is a very valuable tool.
Mm. And Hans, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I live in Vienna, right? And Vienna is a place where, to be honest, the Back Agya is a little bit heavy. So the vibrations we feel are often also from the environment. And so it takes some cleansing, which is okay. And now and then, if it gets a bit heavy, I just do what we did today, which is with the candles. That tends to help. Sometimes with 3 candles. So 1 candle in front of the left hand, 1 candle at the sort of base of the spine, you can say left Svadhisthana, so on the left side, but quite at the bottom, around where the belt is, you can say, right? So for the 2nd chakra. And then 1 behind the Back Agya. And with those 3 candles, that has a very strong impact on absorbing any kind of negative energies we have. That's pretty powerful. What sometimes helps is just to go out in the sun. Let's say if the sun's shining in the room, I might just turn my chair so that the sun shines on the Back Agya. A silly comparison. Everybody knows that vampires don't like the sunlight, right? They burn up. A bit like that. Not so gross though, right? And what really helps, if I feel I'm not getting out of this, it's kind of dragging me down, it feels a bit heavy, then what really does help is to meditate very early at 4 or 5 o'clock. And then I feel just these things just pop out. They just kind of, you're much lighter afterwards. So things clear out at that time that are quite difficult to get out otherwise. Because if you kind of sleep too long, you're tending to succumb to the lethargy of the Back Agya. It is something that drags us down, makes us lethargic. And meditating early can sort of pull you out of that in quite a surprising way sometimes. So it's worth trying, right? It's not that you have to sort of overexert yourself. Sahaja Yoga is not about that. But sometimes just having that little 4 or 5 o'clock meditation, it's, when before the sun rises, when the birds start singing, that's a good time to try it out, have an experiment and see if that works.
Yeah, that's a lovely time to meditate. Wonderful, yeah.
Especially if you're being in the countryside, right?
Yeah, amazing to know about these lifestyle changes that you can make, tweaks to help with some of the baggage that you picked up. And yeah, I love the use of the sun on the Back Agnya. I think it's yeah, it can be a lovely feeling just to have that in the morning or in the evening. So I guess this is a bit of a follow-up question to that. Have you any experience of how the Back Agnya has cleared, and how did it feel? So maybe I'll start with you, Hans, just to carry on that, and I'll move to Elke.
Yeah, I had actually my very first public program, so that's when I got my self-realization. I had an experience around the Back Agnya without knowing at the time that it was that. So essentially, I came a bit late to the program. I don't think anybody realized there's something new. So they were talking about something I didn't really understand. But I did feel, I was getting calmer. Then we watched a video of Shri Mataji. Again, I didn't really understand it, but things started happening. So first I felt a sort of pressure at the Vishuddhi. First I felt sort of generally the attention being pulled inside. Then I felt a pressure at the Vishuri, so at the throat, and it kind of came and went but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was just like something happening. But then that was over, and then everything went dark. And I opened my eyes as wide as I could to check if I'm, maybe just close my eyes. But it was still dark. And after a few seconds, it became light again, became dark again, happened 3 or 4 times. But it wasn't worrying, because it was kind of, I was feeling this energy is looking after me. And then it was gone. And it was really a couple of months later that somebody explained to me that the Back Agnya has to do with sight. So if you have a blockage on the Back Agnya, it can put pressure on your eyesight. And what the Kundalini does, it simply has that benevolence and desire to gently remove those blockages. And that was just this correction of the Back Agnya by the Kundalini without me, knowing what was it, without me asking for it, without a treatment. It was just happening. And, then I opened my eyes again and I felt completely light after that. So I think when the Back Agnya is relieved, you feel much, much lighter.
Mm. Yeah, I can really relate to that with my own experiences of it. You do feel so much lighter when it's cleared. I know that sometimes if I have a headache or I feel this pressure on my head, I'm not sure where it's coming from. The obvious candidate is dehydration, but when you discount that, you've got to think, okay, what's going on? Yeah, there's been times where I've then used a candle to treat the Back Agnya, and when I put my attention on my Back Agnya, I started to realize how caught up it was, how much it was catching and heavy, and then you start to put your attention and use these Sahaja yoga treatments, and that clearing and that release makes you feel very light afterwards. So I really can relate to that. Elke, do you have anything to add to that, or any of
Yeah.
your own experiences?
Actually, when I first started with Sahaja Yoga, after a while, I stayed at an ashram for a while. That's a center where yogis live together and meditate together. And being involved into that Sahaj community, I felt sometimes pressure on the head, not only back, but whole pressure, and I felt that the Kundalini wants out, but it's stuck. So it was the surrounding of the yogis, the surrounding of the vibrations that I was involved in, that was actually getting something moving and then clearing it, and the Kundalini coming out even much stronger after that. So yeah, the more you're meditating collectively, the stronger the vibrations are, and sometimes that means getting rid of blockages. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, what Hans mentioned, meditating in the morning. That's also, I also experienced that very very relieving for the Back Agnya.
Mm. Yes, indeed. So I don't believe there are any questions in the chat. So what we'll do is we'll just leave on this final question. So one more for each of you. So we talk a lot about Sahaja yoga treatments, but it can be, I guess, confusing because there's so many and there's different elements. So based on your experience, let me start with Elke. How do you know when using a candle is the right method? And do you have any tips on how to do that?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the candle you would only use on the left side. So when you have your feet in the water, very often, like we do the foot soak for sure every night. We might not do the candle treatment every night, but we do the foot soak every evening. And when you're in the foot soak, you can very often feel the sensations in your hands much better than only sitting on the ground meditating. So when you put your attention on your hands, the hands can actually speak to you. So you feel certain fingers, or maybe you feel a certain hand more than the other. So when you have sensations on your left side, like if you are warm on the left hand side, or if you have tingling on the left side, or if you feel the centers on your body on the left side, if you have some pressure or some pain on the left side, then that tells you that the candle will be useful. So you can identify the chakras by by the fingers, like we always have on the chart, also the corresponding fingers with the center on the body. So if you feel the index finger on the left side tingling, then that tells you that the candle on this center will be useful. Or if you have the ring finger on the left hand side, it tells you that the Back Agnya might need some attention with the candle.
Yeah, great. Hans, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think what Elke said is the main point, because the sensibility of vibrations in the hands gives you a kind of objectivity. So it is good to guide yourself by that, or also ask somebody else to check your vibrations, because sometimes we don't feel our vibrations so clearly. Maybe somebody else can let's say, be a bit more, have an outside view, let's say. Generally, vibrations are objective, but we can be a bit mixed up in our attention. You could also, just if you feel a bit lethargic, you see if a candle helps. But not if you have simply not slept for a few nights well, then just have a sleep, right? You don't use candles to. Meditation can help even for that, but it's not the right. You catch up with the sleep. But if you feel lethargic, so maybe you're not so sensitive in your hands, you can just go by this thing, you're being a bit sort of dragged down, you're feeling a bit sort of off, a bit depressed or something, try a candle, right? In general, the nice thing about Sahaja Yoga techniques is you can do really almost nothing wrong. You can just try them out, see if they work. But just probably worth mentioning, use the candle only on the left side, because it is very heating, and the left side is a cool thing, so it's, if you're too passive, it's good to warm it up with the left side and use the fire. On the right side, it's not a good idea, because the right side is already tends to be the sort of the heated channel. So to add fire to it could overheat. It depends very much on the person. It's very personal, individual. But you can do practically nothing wrong. But I would say generally, put the candle on the left side and not on the right side, and see if it works. Experiment.
Yeah, sometimes you need both. I mean, very often if we're not in the center, then we're like a pendulum going left and right. And sometimes, you might need the cooling down of the liver and then the candling afterwards.
Like we did today, right? We did the foot first and the candle then.
I think it's also important, as you mentioned, Hans, to identify whether I might be overactive and following up too tired, and then you have a free day after several days of working, and all of a sudden you can't get out of your bed because you're so exhausted. That's not left side.
Exactly, yes.
You might need a break.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, both you, Elke and Hans, for guiding us through the lovely meditations and for these questions and answer sessions. So, what I'll do is I think we'll leave it there, and thank you everyone for joining. We hope you have a lovely end to the day or the rest of the day, wherever it may be in the world for you.
It must be morning where you are, Nicholas.
Yeah, it's 2:30 a.m., so I'm gonna have a lovely sleep now, or I could stay up and have an early meditation. So we'll
so
see
much
what
for
happens.
deconditioning, right? Sort of. Well, that's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's breaking everything, so it's great. No, I really enjoy these late night sessions actually in this program. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely time. You're both in Austria, so what time is it there?
Oh, it's a very close to the
9:30.
time, yeah.
9:30. Okay, okay. Oh, so it's evening as well. Yeah. All right. Okay. So take care, everyone. Thanks very much for joining, and we shall see you in the next one.
Bye
Thanks so much.
bye.